Hi, so I am going to be making this wreath today. So I kind of already started on it. So essentially I'm using some Deco mesh and I'm going to be using some floral accents for it. So I was kind of just placing things around so I could get a feel for what I wanted exactly out of it. So what I've done so far is, here is the wreath. So I have a friend who requested me to make an all black wreath for her. So that's currently what I'm working on. What I have is I just have a frame from the Dollar Tree. So it's one of the smaller ones, and I have been working on my Deco mesh. It is taking me quite a few bundles of the Deco mesh to get it how I want it, because the technique I'm using, it kind of makes the mesh a little bit thinner. I'm actually going to undo one of these bundles so I can show you exactly how I have been making them. So I took my Deco mesh, I just used black Deco mesh, again from the Dollar Tree, and I cut it into 6 inches. So all of my cuts were just 6 inches. And essentially what I did is I just laid it out, and you take the ends and you just pull diagonally, and it kind of gives you the form you want. You just kind of grab it in the middle and then pinch it in between your hands while you work on the other ones. So again, I kind of already did these, so I'm just taking apart so I can show you more of what I did. So you just pull and then you pinch, and you pull and pinch. It doesn't have to be perfect, you just kind of want it to get your base down. And most of my bundles have 4 pieces of Deco mesh. This bundle, I just happen to have an extra piece, so I have 5 in this one instead of 4, but all the other ones have 4 in it. So once I have all of my Deco mesh pinched like this, I'm just taking it and I'm just taking a piece of pipe cleaner. Again, this is pipe cleaner from the Dollar Tree. Most of everything that I use is from the Dollar Tree. So I have my pipe cleaner, I'm just taking it, putting it in, I flip it over, I make sure I pinch it really, really tight, and then I just twist from there. Now, so that's one of my bundles. So as you can see, I have a huge stack of them right over here. So for the wreath, I wasn't sure exactly how many bundles of Deco mesh I would need. So I kind of made my initial bundles, and I added some ribbon onto the ends here. So again, I use this one from the Dollar Tree. It's this really pretty like black see-through, as you can see here, and it has cute little black sparkles. And then this one, I believe I got this from Walmart. I definitely either got it from Walmart or maybe Joann's. But this is just black wired ribbon, because again, I'm just going with a black themed wreath. So I made 6 of the bundles. I added ribbon onto it, and I gave my ribbon the little ducktail. So I just folded it in half in the middle, and then I used scissors and I just cut it to give it that cute little edge. So I have those there for those accents. I didn't want to put ribbon on all of my bundles because I am going to be decorating with the floral. So I didn't want that to take away from the floral accents. So we're just going to keep putting the bundles on the wreath. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking my bundle, I'm putting all of them onto the wreath this way, and I'm just kind of taking the bottom. I'm using the 2 middle braces, and that's what I am attaching my bundles to. So I'm just taking it, I'm putting it on, and I'm just pinching it nice and tightly, and most of the time I'm just going to turn it over, make sure I have it in the middle right there, and then I am going to twist and make sure it's nice and tight. And once it's on there, you can also move it around once it's on there. I'm not too worried about my Deco mesh moving around that much because, again, I'm going to have the floral accents in there, and that'll help hold it in place. So I'm just going to keep going. If I didn't get my pipe cleaner directly in the middle of the mesh, and one end is longer than the other, that's totally fine. I'm just putting the shorter edge towards the middle, so I have more of it hanging off on the outer edges. So when I'm done with my wreath, it's just going to be a little more, it's going to have a little bit more volume. So we're going to take this, just like I did with the other one, just pinch it, make sure it's nice and tight. The length of the pipe cleaners that I'm using is I just took a regular size pipe cleaner and I just cut it into halves. And then from that, I just took the halves and just bent it, and that's what I used to keep my bundles together. And this wreath did take a lot of bundles, so I did have a lot of Deco mesh that I had to cut into my 6-inch squares. I went through, I want to say 2.5 rolls just cutting my Deco mesh to get it ready to put onto my wreath. But I think it's going to turn out super cute, so I'm definitely very excited. Because I have recently got into wreath making. This is going to be the first video that I've made and that I'm going to be posting. So again, just recently got into it. I'm having a ton of fun with it. I really love being able to just create something kind of from nothing, and it's a lot of fun. And I've been watching some other videos online of other people making wreaths, and a lot of people have different techniques to their wreath making, and I love watching them just so I can see kind of how other people are doing it. And then sometimes what other people use, the techniques they're using, don't exactly work for me. Maybe I'm not that great at making bows or doing this, or maybe I don't have necessarily the same supplies that they do for maybe cutting their mesh or anything like that. So I thought it'd be nice to just make a video since I am a beginner. So if anybody out there wanted to watch a video and just get some other ideas so they can be encouraged to also go and maybe make some of their own wreaths, because it is a ton of fun. I love making these cute little wreaths with different themes. And then I have made quite a few other wreaths in general. I haven't made videos for those though, but if anyone's interested, I would love to maybe make a video showing how I did some of my other wreaths. I do have an Instagram account and a Facebook page. So my to make wreaths, I also have an Etsy. So I am trying to get myself out there. So I am going by the name Wilder Wreaths. So that's just Wild ER Wreaths. And you can definitely look me up on any of those and kind of see some of the different wreaths that I've done. I started this video kind of in the middle of a wreath that I'm making, because I have watched some other people's videos of them making wreaths, and it seems that they average to about maybe 40 minutes or so to make their wreaths with Deco mesh and ribbon and just everything that they have. It definitely takes me a little bit longer to make mine, which is totally normal. If you're not super quick paced in making your wreaths, it's fine. You just need to take the amount of time that you need for your wreath, and as long as you love the way it comes out, I'd say you could take 40 minutes, you could take 3 hours, however long you need. So we're almost done here. So what I'm doing is I'm putting about 4 of my bundles in between each of my bundles with the ribbons. I also, my bundles with the ribbons on them, I put those on the parts of the frame that are sectioned off. So on your wreath frame, you have like the different sections, and some of them have the lines. So I put all my ones with ribbons there. And then I'm putting about 4 bundles in between each of those crossbars. So that's kind of how I'm doing it to fill it in, because I wanted to make sure that my wreath was nice and full. And I didn't want you to like be able to see through the wire and everything. So right now you can a little bit, but that's going to be perfectly fine, because once we're done adding our flowers and such to it, we're not going to be able to see the frame at all, which is exactly what I was trying to do. So we're just going to put those on there. It looks like we need 2 more. So it does look like I made a few more bundles than I actually needed, because I wasn't sure when I was initially doing this kind of how full I wanted it. But that's totally fine. Again, because I'm making more wreaths for other things, I just am probably going to keep those extra bundles just tucked away somewhere. So the next wreath that I'm working on, most likely one of my Halloween ones, I already have a jump start because some of my mesh is going to already be done. So I'm just looking at these, kind of gauging which one looks the best to add in. I like the way this one looks because the bundles are nice and straight, a little less curly. Uh-oh. Oh. It looks like I actually don't need this last. Oh, here it is. I almost didn't see where I finished, where I got stopped at. Okay, so it's right here. So this is my last bundle that I'm going to be attaching to my frame. And so this will officially finish the base of this wreath. So my base is finally done. Sometimes I just like twisting it by the frame because to me it seems that it just keeps the bundle on there a little bit tighter than just twisting it with my fingers. Because we're going to fluff it out at the very end once we have everything else that we want added onto it. So basically, for the accents, I also got from the dollar store, I got some different flowers. So I picked up these bundles of flowers from the Dollar Tree, super cute. And then I wanted something with a little bit more to it, so I also got, I found these at Target, and I really like that they're black and they're nice and shiny, so that's gonna make everything pop a little bit more in the wreath. And then I also went to Joann's, and Joann's had a awesome sale on their Halloween stuff, and I got these flowers, which I absolutely love. I love the little silver outlining of the flowers, and then also the leaves on these are really cute, and the leaves themselves have some sparkle to it. So I'm going to be rotating between using these flowers, the Dollar Tree flowers, this Target floral, and also I'm going to be using just the leaves to fill as well, because it's just going to be a nice filler, because you might as well use as much material as you can while you're doing this. So as you can see, I've already cut some, and I was kind of staging it a little bit earlier so I could see what I liked and what I didn't like, so I knew what to do. So essentially what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place the flowers around how I would like them, and then I'll get my hot glue gun and I will actually hot glue the flowers down onto the wreath to make sure they don't go anywhere. So I'm just going to kind of start placing, and then Once I have my flowers glued onto my wreath, I will turn it over towards the end, and all this extra stem that's gonna be there, I'm just gonna take my wire cutters, which I got from Walmart, and we'll just go ahead and we'll snip it away. But I wanna keep the stems for right now, just to help me as I'm placing the flowers where I would like them to go. So I'm just kind of flower, and for this floral, pretty much what I did is they all kind of go on their own stems. So I'm just kind of taking the stem and I am cutting it, and then I'm using this where I want it. You can do it like that. You can even cut off some other pieces if you wanted to do a different project with this, because this has 4 potential pieces that you could use. But I want to keep them together because I'm trying to make sure that this is nice and full. Another good thing about the flowers is the flowers are nice and thick. So even though I have the 4 bundles, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 gaps on each side. I don't necessarily need to put 5 items in. The florals and their fluffiness will pretty much fill up the space without me having to do that. So that'll also just be really nice. So we're just gonna go around and we're gonna keep placing them wherever they look cute. So I'm doing this. I also haven't decided if I'm gonna be adding anything extra onto this wreath, or just keeping it all black, because something that I could potentially do that would be super cute is I could accent it. If I wanted to make this wreath a Halloween themed wreath, I could easily take some like pumpkins and paint them black, or I could take cute little bats or spiders. The Dollar Tree has really cute clip-on bats right now that you can use for an easy clip-on to wreaths. Or the Dollar General has these really cute spiders, glitter spiders. So the Dollar Store, or the Dollar Tree, has like little spiders like this. But I am really liking the spiders that are from the Dollar General. And they look like this, so they're just a little bit bigger. The Dollar General, so far I've only seen them in black and orange, but they're super cute and a great addition. The Dollar Tree spiders, I've seen those in purple, orange, and green. So those are also some really cute options. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna keep placing my flowers. I'm sorry, I already cut some of them, so I had a stash that were behind me. I was just grabbing. So again, I'm just kind of placing them wherever I would like. And then once they're placed, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna hot glue them. And I'm not necessarily doing a pattern of like glitter flower, plain flower, floral. I'm kind of just sticking them in there, because sometimes when you make things super uniformed, if you don't do it perfect, then you can tell when it's not perfect. So I'm not necessarily looking for perfection. I just want to lay all of my stuff on there and just make sure that it looks nice and cute. And as long as it fills all of my gaps, that's also what I want to do. I don't want to see any gaps in my wreath when I'm ready to finish everything. I want it to be nice and thick and full. So, and then also once we're done, I haven't forgot about my ribbon here. I'm also going to fluff out the ribbon, but I'm not going to worry about doing that until I have everything hot glued down, because that's going to take a little bit. So I have one more glitter flower that I already have cut, so we're going to use that. And I think I'll use some leaves at the end. So we're gonna cut another one of these. And again, it doesn't really matter where you cut it and how much sticks out the back, because we are gonna be hot gluing everything down. So anything that's sticking out now, it will not be sticking out later. All right, so I kind of have my map of where I want everything to go. So we're gonna look at it. Let's see if we like it. Yeah, and there's still some gaps right there, but once it's hot glued down, you're not really gonna see that. I'm not really sure what this guy's doing, so we're just gonna cut a different one that kind of isn't going all over the place. So we're gonna get our cutters. I'm just gonna cut a different one here. Okay. And we're going to finish all of that. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna pause the video, and I'm gonna get my glue gun out because I haven't heated it up yet. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna heat up my glue gun, and then we will be back. Okay, so I've pretty much hot glued everything onto the wreath at this point. So like this whole section's done. I'm just gonna work on this section. I just want to do a short little video so you kind of see what I'm doing. When I was hot gluing everything on, I did come across some difficulties trying to hot glue the leaves, these leaves onto the wreath. So just with the hot glue alone, it just wasn't really working. So what I wound up doing is I took some pipe cleaner for the other ones, and I'll do it for this, and I'm kind of just putting it into the floral, and I'm just going to use the pipe cleaner basically to attach it onto the frame of the wreath, because I was not having any luck really trying to do it just with the hot glue alone. So just like everything else, I'm just using the pipe cleaner, and I'm putting it on there, and I am just twisting it nice and tight. So that is on there, and once it's on, like, and you move it around, again, fills all the gaps. Don't really have anything to worry about. Everything is filled up for you. Okay, so we've got 3 more left. So what I am doing is I am cutting the stem shorter before I hot glue. I was doing it after, but then when I was putting the wreath back down on the table, the sticks from the table were kind of popping them back up, and I do want to make sure that they're nice and secured on there. So what I'm doing with these is I'm just hot gluing around the base, pretty much, and then I'm taking it and I'm just kind of sticking it where I want it to go, and I am taking the little nub at the bottom, and I'm just holding it kind of tight with that, so then it's gonna nicely stick into the Deco mesh since it's being hot glued on. So I'm just holding it down for a few seconds, and then it pretty much does the work for you after that. So again, I'm just taking the stem, I'm just cutting it down a little shorter. They're kind of flying everywhere. And then I am hot gluing around the base, kind of where the plastic part is before it touches the petals. And then I am sticking it in my gap. Be careful not to burn yourself with the hot glue. It definitely is. Okay, so I'm pretty much done hot gluing. Sorry, my GoPro keeps shutting off on me, so I had to make sure that that was good. So I'm just gonna check out the back. So where I had to use some pipe cleaner with the hot glue gun for the florals, I just kind of hot glued that onto the pipe cleaner too. Like I put hot glue on the pipe cleaner. So I'm just going through, I'm double checking on those to see if I want to put any more glue on them. And good thing, because I just had one fall out. But the one that fell out is one that I think I just forgot to glue down. So it's always good to double check. So there we go. There's one I forgot to hot glue. So I'm just hot gluing that on. And this guy fell. So yeah, I didn't, this is just one that I forgot to do. So again, I'm just gonna put the pipe cleaner through. I'm gonna get it nice and tight. I have a little bit extra on the end here, so I'm just gonna snip that off because I don't need that much extra on the ends since I'm using the pipe cleaner. Because originally that end was gonna just help me be able to hot glue it on. But again, we're not doing that anymore. So this one went in the gap right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm going to move my other pipe cleaner out of the way so I can see. And we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna twist this onto the base here. So we're gonna twist, twist, twist. And this guy, he's just moving around a lot on me. So I'm probably gonna hot glue it to the Deco mesh too. So because this is moving around so much, I wanna make sure that I hot glue it kind of so it stays in place. So I'm gonna add hot glue to the side right there. And then I'm just gonna kinda tuck it into my mesh, my Deco mesh base. So hopefully it stops moving around as much. So again, we just added some hot glue. We're just tucking. We're gonna hold it there for a few seconds to let the glue take hold, and then everything should be good. Because luckily for hot glue, it holds its place relatively quickly, which is really nice. So I didn't hold it for long enough. Okay. And then if I feel like the base is gappy, I can just take these little guys and kind of move them around, tuck them around each other, and that'll close any gaps that I see that I'm a little worried about. All right, so super exciting. I think we're pretty much done hot gluing everything. This one, I think I would like to move it over a little. Let's see how that works out. Since it's hot glued, I'm just kind of scooting it. It's kind of loose and going all over the place, so I didn't tighten this one very well to the frame. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of hot glue so it doesn't move around as much, because it's kind of just moving around the frame a little too much. I don't want anything to be too flimsy. So again, at this point, the wreath is pretty much done. I'm just adding, I guess, some few minor detail touches onto it, just to make sure that my wreath is good and that I'm confident once I sell it to my friend that nothing is going to be out of place that shouldn't be there. So I'm just going to move some stuff around. So now I still do have my 6 bundles that had that ribbon. So now that I have everything glued down, I'm just going to kind of move it. I'm just going to kind of fluff it a little bit because it's been kind of tucked down at the bottom. And I want it to be showing just a bit, just for some cute little accents. I want the ribbon to be seen because it just adds another layer of texture onto the wreath itself. So I'm kind of just moving around, seeing where it wants to go. And I got my leaves. I can move my leaves around, make sure that those are nice and nice and fluffy. Another good thing about this Target floral that I got, you can kind of bend it in what direction you want it to go, so it's definitely very malleable, which is nice. Kind of put it wherever you want it. And feel free also, as you're going around the wreath, don't be afraid to pull on anything. So yeah, you just hot glued everything, but feel free to pull on things. You want to make sure that your wreath is sturdy and that everything you just hot glued down isn't gonna pop right off. So you want to make sure that it is good to go. And as you're going around, you're just finding your ribbon. You're just fluffing it out a little bit just so it looks nice. Nice and fluffy. All right, so I think we've got one more tucked away in here. Here we go. All right, so I think we have our final results. So I think this is just adorable. Yeah, this turned out pretty much exactly how I wanted it to. This is beautiful. So it's just nice, classic black wreath. And again, if I wanted to make this Halloween themed, because it is right now about Halloween time, I would just maybe add some spiders to it, maybe some bats, anything like that, and that would definitely make it nice and Halloween-y. So right now I'm just going around, I'm just checking out the Deco mesh. Anything that's popping out too much, feel free to cut it off. Your wreath is pretty much set at this point, so you can just touch it up. You don't want too much of the Deco mesh hanging off, because if you pull one string, it does start unraveling everything. So if you see something that's hanging out a little too much, just feel free to cut it off with the scissors. With the style, the technique we used to make the mesh, when we had it in its squares and we were pulling it diagonally, that is going to cause it to fray a little bit more than maybe if we did the curly mesh technique. But again, that's totally fine. You can just clean it up. Or if you don't like that technique, you can definitely choose a different one, because you could easily do this with the curled up mesh. Let me see if I have an extra piece of mesh laying around. Yes, so when we had our 6-inch squares, instead of pulling it diagonally like this, you could easily just roll it up. And then the curly mesh style is when you have it in a tube like this, you could just pinch it in the middle, and then you would put it, you would have your zip tie around the centerpiece, and then when you put it on your wreath, it kind of just looks like this. And you would have maybe like 3 or 4 of these, and then have that style. So that also would have looked very cute. All right, so I think I'm going to hang this up on the wall and see how it looks. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching me make this wreath, and I look forward to posting more videos.